Nei rā te mihi mahana kia koutou, koutou kua tau mai tēnei wāhanga, e ki ana o te generating whānau leadership. Ko ake mai reno tōku ingoa, he rui a hau o Whakamahi, no Waikato, o Ngāti Mahanga, ko te papa o tu te mara. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, kia ora koutou. So welcome to Generating Whānau Leadership. They needed to give us bigger rooms, don't they? So I had to change things up a little bit because of the layout of the room and the size of it. So my initial workshop that I had planned, I had posters up around the wall because I like people to get up and engage and move. So you're just going to have to go with me because I'm doing a little bit on the fly. The other thing, the reason why I changed is because Tā Mason jury's kōrero yesterday about whānau leadership. There was I thought it really resonated with me and I thought it would resonate with you, and I think we should do some shopping around those kaupapa, me ki leadership for the whānau and leadership by the whānau. So I'm going to hopefully be able to facilitate something around that. But first, mea tūtahi, we're going to go around the room and get up and it is going to be a, I didn't talk about myself. Yeah, most of it's in here, in the book. I come to this whānau water conference wearing two kōtai. The first one is I'm the project manager for the Wellington Rohi, that collective, and that's trying to find the name, that's why I'm just referring to it as the Wellington Rohi. So, and I've been in that role for just over a year. The other kōtai that I wear is that I actually have a business called I Wahine. And the I came from, I'm a bit of a fan of iPhones and iPads, but to me it represented Māori woman grounded in Te Ao Māori but embracing new technology. So that's where that name comes from. But as you just heard, I'm actually doing karanga wānanga. Love it here, and I learned, it gave me a Māori woman's view of our creation. It's a different story. And then talked about hene ahuone and how, in our view, we are all descendants from her. So you could say I wahine, or you could say I wahine. Mai te wahine, nera. So that's it. So you can check me out there if you want to. And also I have a Facebook page with quite a few people. I have about 11,000 followers. So what I do is I do leadership. I do leadership development, training, coaching. I work one-on-one. I do workshops like this. I also run the I Wahine leadership group. Yeah, that's what I do. So. Now it's your turn. So I purposely called it introductions rather than whakamahi, because of the size of the group and the time. So I'm going to ask you to get up and stand and introduce yourself. And please speak clearly. It's leadership hui. So we stand up and we speak clearly. Leadership is about communication and being heard. So I ask you to do that, please. And this is the safe environment to practice. Practice like me. I practice, I knew that was a karakia, and it was about preparing myself for the environment. So, and these are sorts of things that I do to prepare myself, and I'm sure you do as well when you go there, you're preparing yourself before you go out there and you work alongside our whānau. Okay? So, leadership for whānau, leadership by whānau. He gave a formula which basically was inspired leadership for whānau, inspired leadership by whānau, equals whānau, tino, ora. What do you think of that? Awesome. Sounded good, but what does that mean in practice? One thing I didn't ask you is what did you expect to get out of this?
Something that's different.
Yeah, well, it's different. And I should have asked you, my goal is to get out of you a set of best practice leadership, because the knowledge is here in this room. So I thought, and we've got some from the first group, but yours might be different. It'll have your start line. So that's what I want to do for you. Is everyone all good with that? Does anyone have something different? Ka whakamahi? Cool. So I'm not texting or anything. I took some photos of Mary's presentation because I thought it was just so awesome. And there's lots of pearls of wisdom there, and I'm sure you've got your own notes, so I'm not going to read through them. But what he did highlight for us was 10 hallmarks of impact and satisfaction. What do you think about those sort of things? And he talked about our own whānau leaders do not always become great leaders by themselves. So there's opportunity to gain leadership skills and to work alongside other Māori leaders will be important. So that's the kind of the context that I want you to think about. So I had to try and merge what I was going to do with his great kōrero, and it's going to be a hard task because he's like up here, my stuff is like down. And I had initially had posters up the room because I thought we had a lot of space, so I like everyone moving and interacting. We can't do that, as you can see, we're very snug. So I'm having to adapt to the room and to the size of the group. So what I have, and oh, by the way, I did some research on Māori women leadership. Māori women, of course. Sorry guys, we love you.
That's all right, we'll
you know, the reason why is because my belief is when you strengthen and support wahine, you strengthen and support the whānau. And our tāne are whānau. Okay, so that's my position. So in my research, I found a whole lot of things. And one of the things that, well, we'll talk about some of that, is that one of the questions I ask a lot of people, because I'm so interested in leadership, is that what does it mean to you? So here are some of the things that came, they may resonate with you or they may not, you may have your own idea. But one of the things I did find out is that leadership is actually different to different people. And it really depends on where you're at, what your experiences have been, and your view of the world. Can you see over there? So you can see some of them focus on skills, some look at attributes, characteristics, traits, some look at the ability to lead, and some look at leadership behaviours. Leadership behaviours are easy because they are observable. You can see, you can't see what, you know, people's traits or what they're thinking, but you can kind of tell because of the actions. Okay, so you can kind of get a feeling of what's going on in here, because here drives your feelings, which drives your actions, which get the results. So when I talk about leadership, I think I talk about the 3 I's. So leadership to me, and you'll see it in the book, I talk about its inspiration, its influence, and its impact. And most kōrero usually incorporate one or more of those words. So this one here, being able to know yourself and your people. And you all know that. Because leadership begins on the inside. Yes. When I first work with people, they want me to, and it's in the corporate environment, so they want me to help them, you know, lead a team. But I thought, actually, you need to work on yourself. You need to know who you are, and what are your strengths and what are your values. Actually, that is so important. Your values, because that comes through. And some people here, one person believes it's belief, motivation, drive, and strategy. And I love this one. So that's what they could see, that's what they could observe. Kuia o te marae, directing things. So you'll know about leadership in the front and behind and beside and within and as a whole. So it's been able, and I know if you're, when you work on whānau, you will adopt different leadership approach depending on where they're at. So sometimes they might need you beside them, sometimes you might need to go in front to show how to do things, sometimes you're behind because they're strong and they just need someone behind them. And we will need that, it's not just whānau you work with, but yourself and your own whānau as well. So, when I thought about Mason Jury's kōrero, leadership for the whānau and leadership by the whānau, give it a lot of thought. And I thought about what is often underestimated, because people often think leadership is a position or a title. What is underestimated often is the everyday leadership that occurs. Sometimes you can change someone's life without you even knowing it. That's leadership. So let me give you an example. I started life off at 19. I went to Polytech 100 years ago. I went to Polytech, did a 1-year course, and then I went into the workforce. And I worked in Hamilton and Auckland. Then I came back to Hamilton. I came back in about October. Oh, when I was in Auckland, I started studying a university, some extramural papers through Massey. So it sort of got me my juices running for learning. And when I moved back to the Waikato, I moved back in October, and I thought to myself, actually, I want to go to university. But you know, I was so used to working. I was up in an hour, and I had a cup of tea with my older sister, and I shared with her my dream. I really wanted to go to university. And I said to myself, if I don't get a job by December, it's October, I'm going to go to university. So I went to, I got a job, and my sister went to university. I forgot about that conversation. It wasn't until years later that she told me it was just that kōrero that sparked something inside her that she went to university. And her son had turned 5. So she was looking for something, what's my next step? And she actually said, I'm one of 8, we all went to university after that. She see the impact? And you know, I'm just giving you an example of you don't know what you've done when you're working with people, you touch their lives, what may intrigue you, because sometimes they don't always know. They're not always able to articulate. So I thought that is an example of leadership by whānau, because it was within the whānau. So it did a sort of a, you know, eight, all of us. And we were just all in kind of, you know, basic jobs. So that's my example, and I want you to think of examples like that when you do this mahi. Because most of you are working alongside whānau, but also think about within your own whānau, about that leadership. And when you're working alongside whānau, think about how you demonstrate leadership to them so that you instill and grow leadership in their whānau. Okay, so what I've got here, I've got 10, let's call them statements. And I'm going to divide them out, they're in posters. And I'm going to give 2 per table. And you've got a sheet of paper for each. You're going to work in groups, divide in half, whichever way you decide to cut it up. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at these statements. Think about whānau, like leadership, tall whānau, leadership, whānau. Think about these statements and how you work with whānau, and look at them and think, kei te tika, kei te he, or he kōrero anō. Okay? If you agree, or if you disagree, and don't just disagree, find something else. Okay? I know you'll see them soon. And I've also got these handouts because here's one. Let me give you, I won't use that one. Here's one. I don't know if you can see it. Aroha o te tehi ki te tehi, encourage the heart. So that's the sort of stuff you're going to be doing. So you're working together. Do you agree with that statement? Do you disagree, and why? And if you can think of somebody, it always helps. Who's a leader that you admire? Do they behave in that way? Okay, Tapai, are you clear? Okay. And this sheet of paper gives more explanation, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily that you necessarily have to agree with it. Okay, if you think, oh no, rubbish, that's rubbish, we'll come up with your own, and I'm all good with that. So, how are we going to do this? Why don't I have the people from the tables come up and choose? Last time I handed it out, so this time someone come up and choose.
Okay, so our kōrero is around kaitiakitanga in terms of leadership. It's about knowing the context, understanding the bigger picture. So the examples that we talked about were about our kaumātua and kuia. So our kaumātua and kuia are pivotal in terms of leadership. So what they do in terms of looking at the marae is, as little kids, they can recognise certain skills in kids, and they will start to nurture and enhance those skills.
And I'll give an example that one of them said is when they're playing on the marae and they're playing bull rush and the babies get hurt, and then one kid will say, taiho, taiho, little manu's getting hurt, let's play this game. Oh, so we're saying that the kaumātua watching will say, it's going to be our leader. Why? Because that tamariki cares for others. Why?
So our pakiki, they move at the pace that we need to move at. And when we're learning something new, they'll move us at the pace that they think we should move at. And whereas we want to move at 1,000 miles an hour, they will slow us up. So my new name, gave us an example, a really good example in terms of trade me, teaching her babies or her mokopuna how to financial literacy. Do you want to ask that?
So I gave an example of the mokopuna. They were going to do trade me, and so they aged from the one who thinks she's the boss was 6 years old, and then there were older mokopuna that were 12 and 13. She said, Nan, what do we need? I said, you need a chair, a secretary, a treasurer. What does a secretary do? They write the minutes of your thing, so she looks, you're good spelling, you'll be the secretary. She said, what does the treasurer do? I said, well, they got to count your money, so when you sell it, she looks at the eldest mokopuna and she goes, you're good at maths. You know, and then she said, Nan, what's the chair? And I said, well, it's kind of something like what you're doing. I'll be the chair. You know, so I just gave the example where I bought a box for $20 from a police auction. They turned it into about $500 because there were some wonders in that box, you know. So it was like saying, you know, our babies don't estimate their intelligence and their resilience. So these babies have been through much trauma, and then having to have Nanny and Papa be their parents. And so, you know, I just say they're so resilient, and maybe I'm doing it wrong because, you know, they are the leaders in our whānau, and sometimes they, you know, they give us, and Papa will say, don't do that, you know, but that was an example I gave as far as the leader.
Because we talked about that sharing power, and so you share the power and then go and allow them to lead. So they sort of strengthen themselves, we let it go. That's what we're going to do.
Because we heard about economic development, is whānau ora economic development, and I said, look, this happened 4 years ago. The younger one is 10 now, going on 11, so within our own families, I know we're doing it. We're just not sharing it. You know, so it's happening now, so don't think because we're not writing it in these big hui that it's not happening.
So that's a good example of recognising, identifying and acknowledging the strengths, skills and knowledge with individual whānau members as well as the whole whānau.
And and I used to talk around our Ngāmi Pakeke, they're the ones that they usually identify that on our marae, and they will nurture and encourage our Ngāmi Paku according to their skills. And it's usually at a stepped approach. So they'll know when they're ready to learn something different and add to their kete that they already have. So Donna and I, we come from quite an isolated area. So our importance, our value is on teaching our kids how to feed the pigs and to peel a spud and to grow whatever it is in the mara. So, and that's usually done from our Ngāmi Pakeke. So we learn all of those things. So, and I always say our kaimātua and our kuia are gold, always. Yeah.
There was a sore point that I brought up and they didn't want to write it up. One wanted to write it up and I'm going to talk about it. And I said, you know, that government right now, they're kaitiakitanga. You know, when you go for your money, it's not their money. They're actually looking after it. And they said, oh, yeah, they think it says. I said, well, I hadn't got much funding and I went in. I got some funding from my mokopuna. They waited for me to say thank you. I said, did you think I said thank you? I don't think so. You know, and it was like they were waiting me to say, oh, thank you so much. You know, but I'm saying that remember, they are looking after things. Willie Jackson, Minister of Employment, you know, support the Whānau Tuturu. He's there as kaitiaki for us. So, you know, we can go to them to say, hey, you're not looking after our money properly. You know, and you need to. So that was a sore point. They didn't want to put government out.
I read that Whānau because where does the government get its money from? Taxpayers. Yeah, they're taxpayers. Why does government lose the best, but they're not doing a very good job and it doesn't justify the meaning of the word. That was the whakamahi around.
And it's okay, but it was me just saying, do you realise that they're actually in that role as well? You know, and as far as the
I have another question. You use the example of mokopuna and seeing the potential or the attributes in our mokopuna and deciding, well, that mokopuna will be good for this and that mokopuna will be good for that. As kaiarahi working alongside whānau and you're trying to instill leadership in a whānau, would you do the same or would you let the whānau decide? What if the whānau, I'm purposely challenging you, what if the whānau choose somebody that you believe doesn't have, I would say, the mindset
I think
or the ability to develop?
The whānau have the right to do things. We just had a baptism. The elders come and said, who would you like to do the program? I said, ask them, it's their baptism, not mine. And they go, oh, okay. So they started asking them. Now what I did do, the last week I made sure was someone who was able to capture all the things that should happen at a baptism and at a churchui. You know, so the adult was able to tie up. But if whānau make the wrong decisions that you think are, who's to say it's the wrong decisions? Because I believe it's not the wrong decision.
Can I just say that there may be recommendations saying, oh, maybe whānau try this way, there may be...
Again, I say whānau make their own decisions. That's what I do. You know, I've been in a lot of situations. I'm responsible for my decisions. And we learn to make decisions.
So just one thing that we probably, in our cloud that we missed, we talked about working at the back of the marae before you go to the front. Because what we're finding, and I don't know about anyone else, but in our body, we're finding that our emerging leaders are going straight to the front instead of coming, you know, and it's really, really hard when you put all that time and effort in it, and then they think that they know best, and so we had a big discussion around that.
Like I said, I'm learning, I'm going to a karanga wānanga. And it's not so that I can volunteer karanga all over the place. And this No, but when I go home, and I go home frequently, I sit there quiet and I watch and I wait.
Yeah.
I'm in training. Do you like what you say to me? But I'm not going to go and get up, oh yeah, I can do it. Choose me, choose me. I sit there quietly, and I think that's what we need to teach those who are keen. And it's lovely that they're keen. So I'm doing this because I can see, first of all, I can get behind it, but also I can see how queer we're losing them.
Yeah.
Yes, I was just thinking along those lines that it is becoming difficult, especially where I am from, that we are now the oldest on the marae. So that's kind of like there is no one to wait to say it's your turn. You are.
So you got, I mean, I didn't want someone to say, get up and stand, and I think, oh, I don't want to go, you go. I don't know what to do. I'm ready. And that's how leadership is. You train every day. And that doesn't mean that you necessarily say I'm the leader, I'm the boss, I'm whatever, but you're ready in case you have to lead, co-papa or whatever. You are leaders in training. I always think that, every single day. How kia ora, thank you. Just give me a second. Do I have to choose you? I choose them.
Okay, so listening to understand. So for us to be able to listen and for our aspirations and leadership for the future, we must always look at the past. Okay? And this will be our way it comes into.
To learn, we need to listen. We don't listen to learn. We have to listen so we can all learn. And as our tūpuna have taught us in the past, children should be seen and not heard, because that is their job to listen. And it is their job to kōrero, so they can learn. And our kaumatu, our tūpuna, always spoke in parables. They never ever gave us answers, direct answers. If they did, it'll be their answer, and it's not allowed to be our answer, it has to be their answer. So they were very wise, very clever, so it was our job to listen. So when we got to their age, we can tell our babies the same thing. And that is the hope of reciprocation and listening, and learning through listening, and teaching through listening. And the rākau, hence the kōrero whakarongo, everybody
Just to elaborate on that a bit more, we also thought about our rangatahi teaching our tupuna how to do stuff like stuff on the computers and Trade Me and smartphones and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. So there is that sort of reciprocating of you teaching me and I teach you something as well. Another one we thought was quite a good one for us was the past, the present and the future. So we learn about where we've come from, where we currently are, and where we're going to into the future. Kawai?
That's right.
And then probably the one I sort of like is this, where is it? Body language. So sometimes what our voices say is different from what my body's portraying. So just, learning the difference between that and sometimes what we say is not actually what my body's portraying.
I like that. So the rongo is everything, all the senses, and also what people say and what they do. Sometimes here,
But rongo is also a healing component of all of it. So that's important.
I actually like the kupu āta whakarongo, because it's listening with intent. Because a lot of the times we don't listen to people because our mind is, our hinengaro is wandering to what's on at home for tea or something like that. So it's actually which could be used.
Yeah, it's about being present. One of the things we thought about was the word listen, because it's not just something that you hear, it's something you feel. So when you're out in the whenua, you know, you listen. You're listening. Things are happening out there. If the birds aren't singing, why not? You know, if the river's quiet and you know it should be loud, why? So listen, that's the same as it is with people. It's when they start a sentence and they all stop in the middle of a sentence, and all of a sudden you need to understand that there's a gap. Something's happened. You know, they've stopped. Doesn't mean we have to say anything at that time. All we need to do is empathise with them. So gradually the leaders come out, especially in a whānau, the environment. If you're saying it in a clinical environment, very little comes out. You take it back to the whare at home, a whole lot comes out. So the environment is not only something that you listen to the environment at all times. So we all know when we can feel an earthquake coming, so do they. When they're at home, they can feel the earthquake coming too, and it could be some kind of trauma coming back up again. So listening to understand is a two-way thing. Whoever we are as we go in as kaimaki, our job is to empathise. So we're not all going to understand their situation if we haven't been in it. Our job is to empathise. So listening to understand is a two-way thing, and that once you've got this understanding, you start building the trust relationship.
Kia koutou mo ki te rōpū whakapapa. Self-awareness, self-regulation and self-efficacy. So the whakaro that we were given was whakapapa. Do we agree leaders who know who they are and where they come from? Are they more grounded and connected? Do they have a heightened sense of awareness of themselves and others? So we did agree. What we did, we approached it in a bit of a different way. We covered this here and talked to each other about what whakapapa is. And it kind of brought us back to the statement. So knowing who you are is whakapapa, and as Māori, the first thing you do when you stand up to represent yourself is your whakapapa. You know? And if you don't, people want to know what is your whakapapa. And I don't know of any leaders who stand up without knowing their whakapapa. Okay. So, whakapapa we talked about as being inherited, you're born to it, or adopting. It can be an adopted thing. Adopted as either urban Māori, you're born into the urban society, or you're adopted to a whānau that may not be part of your iwi. So it can be adopted, but nevertheless, whakapapa is whakapapa. If you've lived in, say, Auckland for 40 years and you're 40 years old, that's all you know. So you adopt that. So when you stand, you're standing as that person. You're representing those people. I've said enough.
So what we've basically done is, well, for my own whakaro is, yes, I agree with the self-awareness and the self-regulation and self-efficacy, because I was sharing with our group that when I was growing up, I didn't have whakapapa. I didn't learn that until later on in life, but I knew something was missing. So when I started having children and I sent them to Whānau and they went through to kura and that,
there was I suppose that where my son said to me, because I was a tutu, I was so tutu, but I had no boundaries because I believe I didn't know my whakapapa, so I didn't have boundaries. So when my children were growing up through kura kaupapa, my son says to me, because I said, oh, why don't you go out and do that? And he goes, Mum, because all the people behind me, what they've done before for me to be here, why would I disrespect that? I didn't have that. So that was the boundaries that they had. That was the whakapapa that they had. But I'd like to think I know better now, and I have boundaries. But yeah, and I found to be more resilient, more grounded, have more confidence, because they know who they are.
So for me, in regards to how I saw whakapapa and how I was brought up, so for me it was the toto, the bloodline. And it was from our forefathers, our tupuna before us, and to what I am today, and the family that I have today. And the teachings that they embarked and they shared with me. So from there, as much as the past, the teachings that they taught me, I pass it on to my kids. As much as, you know, it's changed in regards to what was then. Getting out and playing outside was our kaupapa, but now it's all the e-papas and going on their Facebook. See, that was, if you stayed inside, you had to clean, you know, and you had to be really sick to be inside. So with that kind of concept, they don't think, oh, that's old school, Mum, don't even go there. But, you know, for us, it was being out there and hitting those challenges in regards to, oh, you can't do that, and being a female and being brought up with the brothers and the cousins and playing rugby. You know, if you cried, oh, then piss off, get off the thing. But that was the thing that made me resilient. So when I say to my kids, if that's a target for you to do, and if there's a boy there, try and beat him and try and be better than him. And they go, oh, we can't do that. Why can't you? If you're given the skills, if I give you the skills to do that, then you can do that. So it's about us teaching them in different ways so they can get the concept and then they can take that to the next level. Who does that better? It's us here. How do we do it? We've got all different skills in different areas, but then we've also got other rounds that we play in, you know, because we're mothers, we are coaches, because I do whakaama, and I coach from babies to the senior masters. But the thing is, I keep it simple for them. And if you keep it simple, then they get the concept. But if you have these massive big words and you think, oh mate, you've lost me there. And if you do that, then the kids don't grow and they don't reach their full potential as being leaders. So when I do things, I make sure that I do it at the utmost, because then I say to my kids, you know, if I can do it, so can you. Getting up early and doing going for a run at 6 o'clock, oh, if I can do it, then you can come with me too. So it's not about talking it, you have to also walk it. So, and I'm quite harsh with my kids, and I think all of our mothers are, because we're the first critics. But if we don't push them, then they don't reach their full potential. And if you go out of Aotearoa, because this is their playing field, this is their safe place, and when you go overseas, totally different kaupapa there, because you've got other cultures that you have to work with and see. For me, because I have been travelling as well, I saw how different things go and how people do things, but at the end of the day, respect is the first and foremost. Please and thank you is the utmost. You can always get people by a please and thank you. But the thing is, our grassroots has always been here, but we've had so many different models. Our models are here in the marae, but a lot of our people don't go to the marae because of whatever, and that's this connection that they have, but I was actually quite thankful that I had everything there. So, you know, for me, wrapping it up for me, it's about the teachings and me giving that over to my kids, but also me being the role model and making sure that I walk the talk. Kia ora.
Well, I guess for me, following on from
Right.
and also what the other five are saying, you know, whakapapa, it's intrinsic within our DNA, I guess. You know, you have a whakapapa, whether you understand it or know it, it's been taught it. It's there behind you, and like my son said, you know, why would I do that to those who stand behind you? So we've all got that standing behind it. I was growing up with an understanding of what my whakapapa was, but I was never, I can't recite it because it wasn't, we're still working on it. And so therefore, I agree with the statement that whakapapa is, you know, the self-awareness, self-regulation, self-efficacy, or even self-determination. No, is that moemoeā that we talk about? But I do believe that it's within us. And the challenging thing is to be able to understand it and learn it. It doesn't mean to say that you cannot be a leader, because I know my whakapapa where I stand right now. I know the whakapapa of my tamariki and my mokopuni. You know, that's who I am. So as a leader of that, I want to ensure that they are well. And I guess that's what whakapapa is all about, is ensuring that we look after our tamariki, because that's who our tipuna was always here. It was about the tipuna. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Ma te whakātu ka mōhio, ma te mōhio ka marama, ma te marama ka mataru, ma te mataru ka ora i tātou te tangata ai rā tihei maurua ki te whai au, ke te ao maha. Engari kia tino mōhio i tātou ki ngā tikanga o te kupu nei. What I'm just saying, it's through discussion comes that understanding. And that's how our rōpū stay. Because when we looked at, we agreed with everything that's been said here. So it's through that discussion, and from that discussion and understanding came the light. And from that light came the knowledge around our kaupapa as such. Because yeah, did we disagree on a few things? We did that. Came the knowledge and the wisdom, and it's that wisdom that comes life. Behold that breath of life. And at that clear now, because I know our time's rocking on, I'm going to hand over to our rangatira over here. Te pai, hōhi pera tērā. Tēnā tātou. Ahoi anō, ai ko hau tēnei, no ngā titurei titonu. O tira te upastepa o te rōpū nei.
Nā reira, kanui taku mi ki o kuia me o kuraua, ia tātou e wānanga tēnei. Tēnei kupu me tēnei whakataua. Ia mātou e tiro nei, e wānanga nei, e rangahau nei tēnei kupu te whanaungata. O tēnei kupu, te pukapū o tēnei kaupapa e whakahaere nei tātou e kia nei ko Whānau. Te pukapū, mai raro ki runga, mai runga ki raro, mai ngā tahataha katoa, wā tātou mahi e whakamahi nei tātou. Ahoi ana, anei rā ngā kupu, ngā tuāhuatanga ko putake nei roto i tā mātou wāna. E pāne ki tēnei kupu ko te whanaungata. Ko te rangatira, me he mea, kei te kōrero nei tātou ki tēnei kupu ko te whanaungatanga, kei reira pēr te tangata e whakarangatira nei i tēnei kupu. Ara, me mahi raranga i te tira, mahi raranga i te whānau, ne, kia kōrero ngā kōre, kia whakaputa ngā whakaaro, kaua te tangata e mataku i te mahi ngāmahi. Ki te kore he rangatira ki roto i te whānau, e whakahaere nei e nei āhuatanga, e kore tēnei whānau e neki. E kore tēnei whānau e piki, e aha rānei, engari ka heke tonu, ka taka ki te he ākarau. Ka hau mai ki roto i o tātou whare haru ora pēr. Nā reira, ki roto i tēnei, ko te whiriwhiri i ngā kōre. I te mea, i te kore, te tangata, te whānau rānei e whiriwhiri wā rātau ake, e kore tāi e rātau te ki te ake me pehe. Nā reira, i roto i tērā, te mahi rangatira, me ki tahi, tauarangatira, auarangatira rāne. Ne, me whakapono ki ana e ki ake, tāpiri atu ki tērā, me tuku i te kōrero tautu. Koi ara te mate pēr, i roto i ngā whānau, o pānei ki o tātou whare hauora, kāre e tuku i te kōrero tautu. Aha koa iti te mahi, he nui te mahi. I te mea ka tai mai te harawene, te pūhai e rā āhuatanga katoa, e mōhio tia nei e tātou. Ki reira, wehe atua, wehe mararane. Nā reira, tāpiri atu ki tērā, me whakaawe te tangata ki te tangata, i roto i tērā whānau. Kia hapērai, i te mea, o te toto e rere nei ki roto i tērā tangata, e rere nei, o taua toto tonu e rere nei ki roto i e rā te taua whānau, taua whakapapatonu. Ne, nā reira, me whakaawe tētehi ki tētehi tangata ki te tangata. Ne, nā reira he mahi rangatira anō ki te. Me pono te kōrero. Me pono te kōrero, me he mea ka mea mai koe, ka mea mai te tangata, anei rā, me mahi nei tātou tēnei mahi, māku tēnei mahi e whakarahi, me mahi, tukua kia rere, ki te kore eke panuku kei te pai, ko te wheakotanga i riro mai nei taua tangata taua whānau anō. Tāpiri atu ki tērā, ko tēnei whakataua ki e mōhio tia nei he tātou, ko te kai a te rangatira he kōre. He kōre. Nā reira, me kōrero te whānau ki a rātau anō. Me wānau, me rangahau, me titiro rātau ki a rātau anō, tātou ki a tātou anō me pēhe. Ki te kore, ki te noho wehe tonu, ki te kore te tangata, te teina, e waia nei ki te tuakana e waia nei ki te teina, te tuku atu te mihi, rā whānau ki a. Mea ha, tēnei kupu e kia nei ko te whanaungatanga, e kore rā. Tāpiri atu ki tērā, ka ki tēnei koutou tātou koe nei kupu pono tika aroha. O e nei ngā whakahaere tanga, e hia nei ngā tau e kōrero tia nei e wānanga hia nei e tātou. Kia pono ngā whakaha, kia tika ngā mahi, kia aroha tetehi. Aha kua taka ki te he, tātou e tiu e maka nei ngā pōhatsu. Ana tōkai e nge.
O ia rā te mate pēra i roto i ngā whānau, e ki te mea tātou. Kāre tātou e haere ki te whakaao, kāre tātou e haere ki te tuku i ngā kōrero tau. Nā rei, ka hoki nei tātou ki tērā whakataua ki te kai a te rangatira he kōrero. Kai roto i tērā, e mea mai o ku kaumātua, o ku kuia, o ku pakeke. Kai roto i a tātou katoa, ngā kaumātua, ngā kuia, ngā pakeke. Tēnei tuāhuatanga. Ki te kōrero i o tātou, i a tātou kōrero pūrā kaupaki waitara ki roto i a tātou whānau. O ngā whakataua ki tērā, o ngā kōrero hitori tērā, wera mea katoa hei whakaawe i a tātou. Hei whakaawe i a tātou. Me pono nei, mai tēnei, ka puta nei, ana ko tēnei āhuatanga, tēnei āhuatanga e kia nei o te kōrero. Me tika, ai atu rā ki te awa. Whakawhiti atu au, ki tēnei nā, e nei kupu nei, noa, tapu, mana. Ko te tapu, kai rato i a tātou katu. Kai te rataha ko te mana, e piri nei, e piri pahi nei. Ne? Kai roto i a koe, kai roto i a tātou katu. Mai i hea, mai o tātou mātua tū. Mai o tātou mātua tū. Tūpuna. Nā reira, wau e ki ake, ko mātau e ki ake, te tū hono o ngā āhuatanga. O mua ki nā iane. Haere ake. Kia kau e ngaro ki a tātou. Ki a tātou tamariki, ki a tātou mokopuna, me ngā uri hei te haereo. Nā reira, ko te whakapapa tēra. Ngā tūpuna, ngā kaumātua, tātou te hunga rangatahi. Hekei ho ki a tātou tamariki mokopuna. O tātou e ki ake nei, te hunga mate ki te hunga mate. Te hunga ora, ki te hunga ora. O tātou nei e ora. Ka tāi anō te taki, te kōrero, he kākano i rui a mai i a tea. E kōre tātou, e kā. Hai whakaoti ngā kepea. He whainga matua tō te whānau nei. Ko tātou e huitahi nei, i raro i te paumataka. O whakawhaiti nei tātou. Me tātou e mōhio nei, ki te mahi tātou tēnei āhuatanga te whānau ora, me tīmata tātou i roto i o tātou a e whānau. Mai reira, ka puta atu ki tērā whānau, e whakanui nei te mai. E whakanui nei rātou i a rātou anō. I runga anō i tō rātou whai iti kahurangi tēnei a. A rātu anō te whakataua. Ai a te iti kahurangi. I te tūpo koe. Pehe mātu na teitai. Nā reira, o te whanaungatanga, he rangati, he ponu, he tika, he aroha, he noa, he tapu, he mana, he whakapaparanga, he whainga matu. Hai whakaoti ngā ke, e harai te mea po te whanaungatanga noi hua kēnei, engari po te whakapanei na tanga. O tā tātou, e kōrero nei, e wānanga nei. Ārei tēnā putai, a kia ora mai tātou katoa, kei raro e putua.
Tēnā koutou. Tēnā koutou. Ka mutu koutou. Nei rata mihi kia koutou nā koutou pohonu o te whakaro me te whānui o tā koutou titiro. Ora e tēnā koutou. We have to make it quick, we actually have to be able to do it really quickly. We've got two more groups.
Speak off.
Thank you.
We're going to make this really quick. What do we do? Kena whakai tātou. For these reasons, really. So we had a bit of discussion. We couldn't quite get this challenge, the process from Whānau, but what we came up with in the end was that actually, if your heart is leading the kaupapa, then you can't go wrong. So for that, because you're having a voice, it's because you're enthusiastic and you're passionate about what you're wanting. There's always a clarity of purpose that comes if your heart is leading. There's always that whole component. So if your heart is healthy and you're wanting to drive kaupapa, then that keeps your whole well-being always in order. There's always going to be challenges, so I think you're ready for those challenges, but if you've got a clarity and transparency in the kōrero that's driving you, you can always find the answers. It comes back to that moemoeā ki o tikanga. So if you hold fast to your values, you can't go wrong in that thing. And you've got to make sure that you trust the process, that you're set on your journey. And don't be afraid to ask the questions. Don't be afraid to challenge. If you know in your heart that it's right, it's really difficult to go wrong, because the more you know, the more confident you become in challenging that process. There was one thing that.
So we all agreed, and whakapita mai, he maha ngā whakaarui pita mai ki te whakai ki tēnei. I oranga ngākau he piki ngā waiora. So if you're coming from a good place, you can't go wrong. If you're coming from aroha ngākau, we should always be informed by those things. But sometimes our hinengaro, our reason, can sometimes conflict with that. So just to always consider all different aspects, and that when we have alignment from our head, heart and puku, that's when we're acting out of a sense of conviction, rather than, but for the default to always be coming from a place of aroha, ngākau, but to also consider those other factors. Just like, from te whare tapawha, you have to consider the balance of all four together. With our decision making and the things that give us conviction to do mahi is consideration of lots of different things, but mainly the alignment of head, our hinengaro is our reason, weighing up the consequences, all of those types of things, and the pros and cons. There's benefits in doing that, but mainly if you're working from a place of aroha.
We're modelling the way for Elijah. Come on, guys. Get up. This one, we have ka moemoeā ahau, ka hauraki, we have ka moemoeā tātou, ka whai tātou. So if I dream alone, it's just me. If we dream together, we are all a team. So inspired, a shared vision. So we had quite a bit of kōrero. It took us a little while to figure out what we were supposed to do. So, but once we got on the roll, so we thought, we agreed that, because this is how whānau work, best. They're all in agreement with each other, and they all do it as a whānau. So using that model, there's opportunity for role modelling within the whānau, and there's buy-in from everyone within the whānau, so everybody has a say in what goes on. So there's a ripple down effect. So there's the opportunity. So when something good happens, it goes throughout the whole, ripples throughout the whole whānau.
whanaungatanga is really an important part of this concept. What else? There's the opportunity for us to cast a vision as a whole whānau, and we're all rowing the waka in the same direction. Some may be rowing a little bit slower, so we do total manoeuvres to kia kaha. And we all know what the vision is, what it looks like, and we have an understanding of why we're doing it, who we're doing it for, and who's actually doing the mahi. And everybody has, we already said, contributes. But I suppose the important things with this concept is that there needs to be high trust and really good communication, so that everybody is communicating those views. We're accepting everybody's point of view and respecting everybody else's ideas. And the leadership comes from within, and so it means it's sustainable. If you might have one person that's more outstanding than the others, but if someone leaves, goes off to Aussie, that whānau can carry on with their vision, with their dream, because the leadership is from within the whānau. So as a collective group, they're able to sustain themselves. And that's it.
Yeah, you might as well. Are you guys
we actually, ours is modelled the way, so we're modelling the way for our matua. Hey, matua.
To follow this afternoon, but our presentation is going to be fast and furious. We're not going to explain. You can see for yourself. Led by you know that? Okay, hey, who we are? Hey, come on, see the way. Okay, let's turn. Oh, yeah, come on. Good, right? We're talking about honesty, we're talking about faith, and we follow through. Hey, ko Whānau, ko hand kōrero, ko Pāutahu. Right? Follow it through, all right? And is that present or? He's been present. Oh, hey, that's I'm coming to a hoi, kia ora. Like I know some queers are coming to a corporate, and oh, I can't turn up. Hey, don't be present. That's what our mana is all about. Leadership is to be there. Checking in the review. We must have a look quickly all the time, checking our book. Hey, always checking our mana. All right? And being consistent, we go back again. Hey, what we're saying is that if you're going to be there, be there. And then kumutu, don't give up. I'll break it down like this. If you want to be a leader, then you need to be the mover and the shaker. Because that's what it takes, whānau. Hey, all right? And can I say this? Like Pereira, it's not where we would be as been by our rangatira. You and I know that. You know that with your life. You've got those who are leaders. But can I say, our tamariki will follow. Can I say also this, that we do have leaders in church, and they can be 40, 45, 50, 20. Taimata is very rare. How much in all that? I put it to put it in a